Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hello, hello, hello. We're going to wait a little bit, let some people come and join us and talk about the campaign, what we are doing, how we were successful, and some of the things that we are going to push for once we get in office, as well as the Safety Act, which is now under intense fire. So thank you for coming to hang out with me today. We're going to, again, give it a little time to build up. Happy Monday. God bless America. God bless Chicago. God bless the West Side. God bless Austin. So shout out to everybody in the whole wide world, especially the Americans who are in this great city of Chicago. The number is building up. It's coming. We have some wonderful news to share. I just wanted to let it settle and become real before I said it out loud. So we got enough. We can touch and agree that enough people are here. If you are watching, shoot me a comment. I just want to see that you're here. So, friends, we submitted the signatures to the Illinois Board of Elections so that I could make the ballot. When I submitted my signatures, there was a woman who lives in the 1st District who went down to the election board, went through every one of my signatures, and invalidated as many as she could. And so one of the things that I noticed about her as an objector is that she lives in the 1st District and I live in the 7th District. And according to Illinois state law, in order for someone to object to you, especially if you're running in a district, then they have to live in that district. So we were kind of confident that we were going to get it dismissed. So the appointment was at 10 o'clock. I got there about 9:50 or so. I met up with my lawyer. Shout out to Perry Abbasi. I want to do a quick break. Shout out to Perry Abbasi. Perry Abbasi is in the Austin community in the 29th Ward. He is a stellar political attorney. And he also does real estate. So shout out to Perry Abbasi. So I meet up with Perry Abbasi. He gets there. Now, while Perry is there, he's also there to push a challenge on my opponent, who is named Chad Copey. He's 88 years old. He lives in Kane County, and he signed all of his petition sheets saying that he was the one who personally went to circulate them. I know that Chad Copey was not moving around the west side of Chicago getting signatures, especially, again, at 88 years old from Kane County. So we challenged that. It's going through its own thing. So as I'm sitting there, again, our appointment is at 10. We wait. The lady who challenged me did not show up. So I'm like, okay, do we throw it out? So I asked my counsel who was there, who is Christopher Abbasi, the brother of Perry Abbasi. And they said, okay, P. Rae, we are going to wait, give her like 15 minutes stay. So we wait until 10:15, she doesn't show up. They said, okay, we're gonna give her another 15 because the appointment is for 30 minutes. At 10:30, she was not there. My attorney put in a motion in order to throw it out for lack of appearance, and they threw out the challenge, and now I am on the ballot. So clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Thank you to everybody who helped me with this. When I tell you this was not an easy task, but we got it done. So shout out to Mr. Clay, shout out to Ronald Dates, shout out to Ms. Yvonne Smith, shout out to everybody who was really stepping up to assist me with this. Thank you to every block of Village. Sorry, y'all know I live with other people, so they are having a conversation there. I digress. So shout out to everybody, every block of Village, my family there who was, really encouraging me and signing and really participating in everything that we had going on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because we successfully made it onto the ballot. So with that being said, now it is showtime. We are putting the finishing touches on everything before we do the official launch. P. Rae For 7. We have to go piece by piece, line by line, because my goal is to get out of this whole situation without having any any federal election charges. We saw what they've done to other people with campaign finance issues, and they will certainly lock me up. So we're going piece by piece until we get it correct. So shout out again to everybody who helped with Rae For 7. Moving on. I also want to take this moment to discuss the Safety Act. The Safety Act is not working for us in the state of Illinois. And I said this months ago that we needed to reanalyze this. What the Safety Act says is that Illinois is a no bond state. So it's not like you get charged with a crime and then you go to the county, you pay your bond, and then you get out. No, there are a certain group of detainable offenses that exist. If you do anything outside of that group, then they have to let you go. So the Safety Act, I'm gonna give you a couple examples. The Safety Act had a woman named Megan Boss, B-O-S. She was found in a vat of liquid in Lake County, and she was dissolving, okay? Literally, she was decapitated, found in a vat of acid. When that man, who was an illegal alien from Mexico, was taken to Lake County jail, the judge let him out and charged him with desecration of a corpse, and desecration of a corpse does not fit the definition of being detainable. So they let him go back home after he was found with a decapitated body dissolving in acid in his backyard. Her mother had to go to the White House and get President Trump involved, and then ICE came and got him out of here. Okay, that's the Safety Act. The Safety Act also allowed that very sick man. Now, yes, he is a criminal. Yes, he is, but he is literally crazy out of his mind. That allowed that man on the train to go and throw gas on that woman and set her on fire because he, again, is clinically not well. He was going to McNeil Hospital for 17 years to manage his mental illness. And one day while he was there with his social worker, he hauled off and slapped her in the face as hard as he could. It gave her a lot of injuries. They called 911. They charged him with aggravated battery. Aggravated battery is not a detainable offense under the Safety Act. So the judge, following the legislation, had to let him go. So he couldn't be detained. But then she also barred him from McNeil Hospital, so he couldn't go back to the space that was managing his mental illness. So now he's out here completely unmanaged. They also allowed him to get movement on his house arrest ban because in Cook County, I believe that if you are on house arrest, you get 40 hours of movement a week. So he was able, I think initially they gave him 8 hours. He went back to the court and said, hey, I'm involved in my church. I need a more timeout. They gave him more time. I think it was from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. However, the attack happened outside of that curfew or that free time. However, because they already let people outside, then people on house arrest just assume you can go outside if you're on house arrest. They said that his house arrest ban was beeping and alerting the Cook County courts because the Cook County courts took the house arrest system from the Cook County sheriffs because they said that they believe that they can handle it better. They got the alert. They did not try to find him off the GPS. They did not send a sheriff. They didn't do anything. So he goes on Harrison and Kedzie to the gas station, buys some gas, walks back to the blue line, taps his card, goes on the train, throws the gas on the woman, and sets her on fire. That's the Safety Act. The Safety Act has also caused the property taxes to go up. How did that happen, friends? Well, when they were initially discussing the Safety Act as a piece of legislation, a lot of the corporations and the high wealth individuals in the state said, if this act passes, we are going to divest ourselves and our companies from the city of Chicago. So they moved forward with it. We lost Boeing. We lost the Citadel, which was Ken Griffin. He himself personally was paying $200 million in taxes a year. The Citadel was paying a lot of taxes. So now you have this huge vacancy rate in downtown Chicago. However, the budget is the budget. So rather than them getting the commercial tax levy. Now that's being pushed back on the homeowners. So now your property taxes have gone up because of the Safety Act. Yes, that's what your Democrats gave you in this state. So now J.B. Pritzker, because they said they had a weekend from hell, he says that now it's time to re-examine the Safety Act. But we were saying this in the Illinois GOP for years. We were talking about this when I was still on the radio. So again, dump the Dems. Now, what can happen and what will probably happen after this woman got set on fire is that the transportation systems are considered federal because it engages in like interstate commerce. And so in New York City, the governor has brought in the National Guard, and the National Guard is now patrolling the trains. The same thing can happen in Chicago. If they brought some people, some real live people, shout out to the security guards with the dogs, but real live trained people on those trains, I think a lot of that stuff would calm down. And it could happen because now we watched a woman get set on fire, and that man should have been put in Cook County Jail so that he could go to that hospital and get his mind checked. Look at his mugshots, friends. That man is not well at all. And then you have these pundits who are calling him a thug. They are saying that this is a black issue. The blacks are attacking the whites. No, this is a clinically insane person who was failed by the Illinois legislature. That is the long and the short of it. Everybody involved followed the law to the T as it is currently written. And that came from the state of Illinois. It has nothing to do with Brandon. He went on TV and he did an interview and he said this is just an isolated event. And it's true. If you think about what an isolated event is, it's not like they're setting a whole bunch of people on fire. And he, again, was just saying this is how the law is. Now, do we agree with that? No. But this is what their party put out. So the facts are the facts, and we have to look at this factually and not emotionally if we are very serious about coming up with a solution for this. And that solution, friends, is Rae For 7. What we are going to do, one of the pillars of my campaign is to start federalizing some of the crimes here in Chicago. So I read an article the other day that stated that the city is starting to see an uptick in federal prosecution for gun crimes. And I think that's a wonderful thing because obviously we are having a problem prosecuting that in the Cook County courts. So give it to the feds, let them handle that at the Dirksen Federal Center and send them to the MCC. Simple. This is where this guy is, that the guy that set the woman on fire. He's currently in the Metropolitan Correctional Center, and I believe that he is getting the mental help that he definitely deserves. Let's look at some of these comments. Thank you guys. Wow. At first I couldn't see it. It was like 2 people. I'm like, dang, only 2 people are here. But we have more than 2 people. It just like popped up. Shout out to Mr. Delk, the red man from the north side of Chicago, who I met at the RNC. Shout out to my childhood bestie, Miss Jenny Jones. Her name is literally Jenny Jones. So imagine like growing up in the 90s with the name Jenny Jones. And shout out to her twin sister, Joyce. I had 2 best friends, Joyce and Jenny. Shout out to Jenny. I love you. Thank you, Miss Karen, for the congratulations. Shout out to Wavelength King, who said that the South Side has had the biggest increase. Yes. And so one thing that they talk about in this tax thing is they say, well, the area itself has appreciated. So that's what drove up the taxes. And I just don't think that's true. I don't think it's true that the South and the West Sides had to take the biggest brunt of this tax reallocation from commercial to homeowner. This is all a part of the plan to move Black Chicago out of here. Remember, friends, always remember and never forget that Chris Kennedy of the Kennedy family stated that Rahm Emanuel and J.B. Pritzker were engaged in a campaign to move Black people out of the state of Illinois. I didn't make that up, and we didn't ask him for that. So always remember that this is controlled chaos, which is why we have to move on. I'm tired of fighting all the time. We don't have to fight them. We don't have to deal with them. All we have to do is wait until the next election and then choose new people. Moving on. Shout out to Wavelength King. Did you all have any Diddy oil left from last night? I don't know. I've never been to a Diddy party. Shout out to Miss Susan. Thank you to Miss Susan, who I met at the RNC at the Republican debate in 2024. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for the congratulations. Shalom, King Israel. Run for mayor. I don't want to run for mayor. I don't want to run for mayor. P-Ray does not want to run for mayor. What I understand most is federal law and how that's applied to what we have going on here. Because I was raised in a congressman's office, my mother worked for the federal government for 32 years. So everything that my paradigm is federal, just because I understand it the most. And shout out to the Chicago Public Schools for making me pass the Constitution test twice. So I get it, I got it, and I just want to go to the federal government, not forever. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to, be a senior stateswoman. I mean, it's a great thing to be. However, I just want to go while we have the access that we have through my relationship with the White House and scoop up everything we can get and bring it back to the 2nd Congressional District so that we can kind of settle ourselves out. And then I'll get out the way. It's like the Mario game. When the music is on, you got to run real fast and collect all the coins before the music stops. That's what I want to do by hooking us up directly with the federal government rather than sending someone who believes that it is their job to fight the Trump agenda. We don't have time to fight the Trump agenda. Anybody that's telling you we are going to go fight the Trump agenda means that they are about to go squander your political capital because you can't win. These people are in charge until 2028 if you like it or you don't. So it's best that you learn how to shake a hand and make a friend and figure out how we can fit into their platform. And I think that we have been successful in doing it. Let's see. Shout out to Miss Naomi. Thank you for just loving on me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You just came in and just gave me so much of your heart. Thank you, ma'am. I love you more. William, thank you, William. I met him through the NAACP when I was a little girl. He can testify that I've been doing this literally for like 25 years. And I've been thinking about this for 25 years. Every Saturday, friends, my parents would wake me up and we would have to go to either something political or something social. And you sit in these meetings over and over again, listening to the same problems over and over again. People are coming up with the same solutions over and over again, which only perpetuates the problem over and over again. I'm like, no. We understand the problem now. So if we can't get what we need from these people right here, we just got to move on. And that's why we are Chicago Red. It took me a while to get here because y'all know I just left America at first. I'm like, I don't even got to be here. But when I came back, it's just like, leave them alone. I don't want to fight them anymore. No more to talk about. Shout out to Alex Acevedo, P-Ray for 7. Yes, if you are watching on Facebook, please go over to the P-Ray for 7 Facebook page and join, subscribe, all that good stuff. I have to learn how to move and start putting more things on the campaign page rather than my personal page. So yes, please go there so that we can drum up the content. Shout out to Miss LaShawn, who taught me through Design to Teach Concealed Carry class located on Harrison and Lotus. She does concealed carry classes. She will teach you the laws. She will teach you how to put the gun together, how to take it apart. She's going to teach you how to shoot everything. Shout out to Miss LaShawn. Make sure you go to her class so that you can help yourself because the life you save might be your own. Moving on. Shout out to Sammy Philly, my favorite West Side restaurant. Who are you supporting for alderman in Chicago? I don't know. I don't know who to support. I haven't even been focused on Chicago stuff because I'm so into this campaign and watching the federal government. Right now, the Democratic Party in the city of Chicago is literally collapsing. And that's due to the advocacy in the education of Chicago Red and Black Excellence Hour. All we had to do was tell the people the emperor doesn't have on any clothes and his booty is big and ashy. And everybody noticed at the same time. So I don't know what's happening, but we hope that we get better. Let's see, I'm just going through these comments. Thank you, Miss Kim. She said I look pretty. Thank you, thank you. I'm trying a new look. So let's see. Just reading. Um, Thank you, Kim. She said that they're not ready because I am the best of both worlds. I do. I know policy. I know how to count. And I'm a real live Chicagoan. She says that Mendoza will run for mayor and Chewy is a sellout. We will see. We'll see. Again, not right now. Not to diminish those comments, but not right now. We have to focus on gathering what we can because we are watching them sink. So everybody, now you got the progressives against the old school machine when it comes to the city budget, which is why the budget isn't moving. Brandon wants to do a head tax, all kind of different stuff. Rather than them practicing austerity and reducing costs, they just want to reduce taxes and fees in order to meet their established goals. Fun fact, Cook County just passed a $10.8 billion budget, and that budget included legal services for illegals, even if they're taken out of state. So now we're paying the legal fees for illegals all over the country. If you are scooped up in Cook County, we're going to pay your legal fees until your case finishes. Who has money for that? Nobody. And that's why it's time to dump the Dems. Pin out. So again, this is what we're on. We don't have time. We just don't have time for fussing, for fighting, for racism, for classism. We don't have time for any of that right now. We are in the middle of an invasion and we are winning. Two illegals day before yesterday were in Ravenswood, which we know is on the north side. This is where Rob Blagojevich lives. That's always like my compass for that space or reference for that space. But in Rob Blagojevich's neighborhood, two 15-year-old girls were walking down the street minding their own 15-year-old girl business. They noticed that two guys were walking behind them. As they turned back around, those guys ran up on them. One had a gun, one had a knife. They pulled them into the alley and they raped one girl at knife point while holding her friend at gunpoint. The neighbors heard the commotion, came outside, those guys scurried away, and then they brought them in the house. Y'all want to know who did it? They said that the offenders were a white Hispanic male and a black Hispanic male. Now, we know as Chicagoans that the black Hispanics and the white Hispanics do not get together and commit crimes. Those were Venezuelans, friends. Those were Venezuelans who raped two 15-year-old girls in an alley 2 days ago in the city of Chicago, and nobody raised the red flag. This is why I want to run for Congress, because it is the responsibility of our federal representatives to take these issues back to the federal government to say we need more federal intervention when it comes to getting these illegals out of our state. They are here because the federal government failed to secure the border. And then they are also here because our mayor went on international TV and told the whole world, come to Chicago, we have more than enough for everybody. So not only did Eric, I can't get his name out, the guy, Abbott, there we go. Not only did Greg Abbott send people to the city of Chicago, but the governor of Arizona, who is a Democrat, was flying people to Chicago. The mayor of Denver, Colorado, was flying people to Chicago. Mayor Eric Adams was flying people to Chicago. Everybody sent their people here on us. And it is up to the federal government to give us a resolution from this. If we have federal representation that is not communicating that, then we have to figure out how to get it. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to say what they're doing, what they're not doing. Just send me. I've been doing it already. I've been doing this literally since 2018. And now we are here 7 years later in 2025, and we have some of the federal help that we deserve. But more federal help is coming. It has to come, because what those babies did downtown, no, we will never have that again. There is no accountability at all for them. We want to make paddy wagons great again. Brandon Johnson, Mayor Johnson, please use some of the police budget and buy as many paddy wagons as you can. So next time when this happens, we could just scoop them up, throw them in there, and make them go call their mothers. Because what also happened is 30 police officers were harmed. They were sprayed with bear spray. They were jumped on. One police officer went to the hospital in serious condition. So something has to be done. There is no deterrent from committing bad crimes. The same energy that made those kids riot downtown, and it wasn't just Black kids, because if you watch the video, the one that happened in front of the Chicago theater, those were Hispanic kids. So everybody want to be a Chiraqui YN. It doesn't matter your race, your socioeconomic class. This is the culture. So the same energy that made those children riot downtown is what caused those kids out south to jump on that grown woman. This is a culture of lawlessness, and we cannot continue to get it. We cannot continue to live like this. No. So we must get the federal intervention that we deserve, and I'm gonna go get it. I've already been going to get it. I'm just one lady from the west side of Chicago that was like, oh, hecky no, let me go try something else because these people playing with us. And I did it. So if I was the actual congresswoman, imagine what I can get done. It's very difficult to get these things done because you have people who will go before you and tell lies. P. Rae is really a Democrat because she hangs out with Democrats. Yes, P. Rae hangs out with Democrats because the Democrats, one, are the majority in this town. So, and I'm a social person. But beyond that, I understand that they are the ones with the power within the legislation. So you have to communicate with power in order to get things accomplished. P. Rae is just doing this for money. There is no money in this, everybody. There is no money in what I'm doing unless don't know how to get it. But no, there is no money. There is no grift. When I go on Fox News, they don't drop gold doubloons in my pocket before I walk out the door. No, nope. We have to save ourselves right now. That's it. So again, we got the relationships, we got the attention, we have the ear of the president, we have everything we need. Now let's seal this deal with Rae for 7. We are going to be opening the campaign office very soon. I was waiting on them to pull it together, and they are. So hopefully this will be done soon so we can have our big announcement. We need volunteers. We need volunteers. We need volunteers. We need people who are going to knock on doors. We need people that hang door hangers. We need people to just make phone calls. We have a huge donor list. So we gotta dig into our donors to see who's going to help and support us, because the whole country right now is behind the city of Chicago in our mission to save ourselves from this liberal progressive failure that is bankrupting everybody and making us all less safe. Let's check on the comments again. Thank you to Cash Kelly. That's my homie. Y'all know Cash Kelly. A lot of people talk about January 6th and say, oh, that was just white people, and if Black people did that, it would have been worse. Cash Lee Kelly was out there as a Black man. I always use you, Cash. Welcome home, baby. Shout out to Donald Trump. Let's see. Oh, man. I don't know what happened to the comments. I don't want to show them on stage. Sorry, guys. I'm like kind of like a boomer when it comes to like this kind of stuff. And now I have lost my comments, but they'll come back. So I say all this to say, Rae for Congress. We have work to do. Come help me do the work. This cannot be done by myself. I'm not the grand poobah. I don't know everything. What I know is how to establish policy. I know how to look at laws. I know how to look at social conditions. I know how to look at budgets. And I know how that fits all together in order for the government that we are paying taxes into to give us the solutions that we deserve. It's not that we're asking for a handout. It's not that we're saying, oh, government, come take care of us. But at the end of the day, we are taxpayers just like everybody else in America. just like everybody else. And we deserve the same type of care that everybody in America is getting. It's very expensive to live here. Very, very expensive. So we are paying our own way and we are taking care of ourselves. And if the local, state, and county government cannot meet our needs, we're going to get what we need from the federal government. I think I really want to see what the people are saying back to me. I'm going to have to show the comments on the stage. Okay. Let's do. Oh, this is not on my regular page. Okay, or maybe it is. I'm sorry, y'all. And now I can't see myself. Guess the people can talk to each other and not me. I don't know how I messed this up. StreamYard is going to have to get it together because now I can't even see anything. So let's wrap this up. Rae for 7, Rae for Congress. I love you all. We just got to keep pushing to do more content. I'm not a content creator, but I will be because now it is content creation time. Dump the Dems. Dump the Dems. We are done with them. Oh, I like that. Dump the Dems. We are done with them. Dump the Dems. We are done with them. We're done. We're done. We're done. That's it. No more talking. Especially after what happened last weekend. And make sure you tell your friends, Rae for Congress. It's very, very important. Share love, keep a happy thought, love on each other, and it's only up from here. See y'all.